everyone. This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, Fusion of Science and Beauty, and I've got a fabulous guest, David Wilcox, right?
Yes.
And we're here at the Oscars, and I know everyone's going to ask you what's your favorite movie, and what's the favorite, who do you think is going to win, but I want to ask you something that's far more dear and near and dear to my heart, and that is anti-aging regenerative medicine. As you know, our host Peter Nygaard has done so much research, and he's funded so much research in anti-aging, and you know about stem cells.
Yes.
And you've done a lot of you yourself in the shows. Just tell the audience a little bit about what you do, what some of the shows.
Sure. So. I guess what most people know me for is on History Channel, Ancient Aliens, which is the most popular show. So that's an area in which I talk about what appears to be highly advanced ruins that have appeared in our ancient history. That suggests that our civilization had reached a level of technology that exceeds where we are now. And what's interesting about this is that the Russians have built pyramids in modern times with PVC pipe and fiberglass, and they're finding incredible healing effects occur inside the pyramid. This is why, for example, mummification occurs. So this took me into the area of studying biology and human health and wellness. I have a New York Times best-selling book. I have 2 New York Times bestsellers. The book is called The Source Field Investigations. And about half the book, with 1,000 academic references, is all talking about an entirely new model of biology and healing and wellness. Now the thing is, there are actual technologies that are available today that most people simply do not understand. There's been a lack of knowledge because there are vested political interests that want to keep the profits flowing.
That's it.
What is the most profitable business on earth? You might think that it's oil, it's not, it's pharmaceuticals. They don't make money unless you stay sick. If you get well, if you get healthy, they don't have a paying customer anymore. So they're not going to want you to know about something that could roll 30 years off of your life.
David, tell us about the experience of the stem cells. Just tell me about stem cells, because people, it's so controversial. People think stem cells, they don't understand that there are different ways of getting the stem cells. It's not all about umbilical cords. It's not all about from fetuses. You can get stem cells from your own body. You can get stem cells from fat, from blood.
That's absolutely true.
And there's stem cells that can proliferate right here in the lab. So
there's astonishing ways to do it. There's different ways to do it. I've heard of so many different approaches, and I just want to point out that in the sea there is a little creature called the immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis nutricula.
That's right.
This little guy is about the size of your pinky fingernail, and you can tear his body apart, kill it, and the pieces of his body roll together into a ball and form stem cells, which then create an embryo, which then creates a new immortal jellyfish.
Amazing.
So nature is already doing this. When the caterpillar turns into a butterfly, it forms a chrysalis.
Yes.
The interior of the chrysalis is just a nutrient broth. It has no DNA, and yet from that, the caterpillar grows into a butterfly. So what's going on is this, okay? The technology can include, and this is one of the things the Nygaards are doing, taking the waste products of in vitro fertilization, IVF, in which they're throwing away embryos. They're killing those embryos, okay?
So it's already, they're throwing this away. They're not trying to, harvest something new. This is very important because people want to jump at this. They're embryos. Let's take it in the right context, you guys. They're already throwing away those embryos for in vitro for IVF.
The big money political interests, they want to tell you that this is something that's coming out of harvested abortions and all this stuff. It's not true. This is something that is like a great treasure chest filled with gold and diamonds that we're just flushing down the toilet. And what they do is they remove the nucleus from the original cell, and then they put your nucleus in there. And when you make that nuclear transfer, now the brain in the cell has changed, and it's your brain, and it tells that cell to start out from birth. So you're now dialing your age back to 0.
Amazing.
And as those cells grow, they can be cultured. And as you culture them, you can get millions and millions of them. And when you put them into your body, they know what to do. They look for the problems. You have joint problems, they're going to heal your joints. If you have neurological problems, it's going to help that.
Yep. It's going to go to all the areas where you have damage, right? It's going to go to all the areas where you need help.
Everything that could be going wrong with you can be healed by this, and it is a revolution in the potential of what you can achieve with your health.
Absolutely.
The lifespan itself used to be like a death sentence. You know you're going to age, you're going to get older, you're going to get more and more chronic pain, you're going to get more and more fatigue.
And now we can harvest these cells, we can expand them when we need them, and you literally are looking into it one day, thinking about immortality.
And I think right now, as I just said in another red carpet interview here, we're at the point of Alexander Graham Bell when he first made a telephone call.
I believe that.
In 10 years, what's going to be happening to us? You can't even imagine.
We'll be regenerating our own parts.
We're going to have, baldness is going to be cured.
Yes.
Joint problems where a guy is stuck hunched over, you're going to be able to stand up straight again. I mean, chronic pain, even potentially IQ boosts are possible.
Yes.
We're going to be able to 3D print human organs with stem cells to create organ transplants so that you get a new lease on life. If your pancreas is blown out, your kidneys are blown out, you don't have to wait 2 years on the donor list. You can print your own kidneys with your own stem cells, replace your kidneys, and you have this phenomenal improvement in your health. So it's a belief system that has to be shifted, and this is the vanguard. This is like when we first discovered the wheel, or when we first discovered fire.
That's right.
It's going to change everything about what it means. A lifespan of 100 years is not going to be that uncommon once this gets out going, because we've just started. You think about how technology's improved, and you think about the quantum leaps that happen with a number of intelligent people out there. When they get the funding, when they get the support to pursue their dreams, when the legislation is in place, some of these progressive countries that are starting to let this stuff happen, things can occur really quickly, and that's so exciting to me. I'm really amazed. I'm already 43 years old. I don't look it.
I seriously, I thought you were in your late 20s, honestly.
I take really good care of my health.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is lifestyle and wellness. There are simple things that you can already be doing to enhance your lifespan.
Give me 2 things that you absolutely would give us a tip, either as a supplement or as a food item, or what maybe 2 or 3 things.
I think people get really hooked on all these alternative supplements and all this cool stuff. The main thing that I take every day is the highest, purest quality vitamins. Take your alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and K, K1 and K2. Very important. So many people are deficient in B vitamins. The fluorescent lights drain them out of your body. Another thing I think is so important is the quality of the water. Just drinking the right water can massively increase your lifespan.
And we're now getting into like hydrogen water. We've got hexagonal water. We have alkaline water. We have all of these things, you know, and there's so many different kinds of water for different things. But pay attention.
You probably know about the scientist from India, Dr. Batman Helji. And what he did is he found out. He has a book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. He found out that so many health problems are simply the result of chronic dehydration, which we misinterpret as hunger, which leads to binge eating. So simply hydrating yourself, and again, you made a very important point, with the right kinds of water. Water that hasn't had all the stuff stripped out. This is a big mistake people are making. They want to drink totally stripped out water like reverse osmosis, okay?
That's
the
worst.
If you don't have the minerals in it, it's actually going to demineralize your body.
It's going to leach the minerals out of the body, and people don't get that.
You want to get that spring water. You want to get that natural living water. The water is so important.
Alive. It should be alive.
And that will absolutely transform your life. There's lots of different things you can do. Getting enough sleep also is really important. We're addicted to being awake. People think they can get by in 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Give your body the sleep that it needs. Give it the water. Give it the right nutrition. Eat organic. I recommend a paleo vegan diet too. You need to have some meat products. There's this amazing scientist you probably know about from the 1930s, a dentist who went through, he wrote a book called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. All these blue zones where people are really healthy, they're all on a traditional diet, the same thing they've been eating for 10,000 years. They might eat shellfish, they might eat fish, but the point is, the foods that we now have, this is so important, the foods that we now have are killing us.
That's the thing. This is where my next topic is. Yes, you always say eat healthy, but what is happening? We have those shellfish. Do you know how much plastic is being found in the shellfish? We have foods, now we have the pesticides. So you're absolutely right. I don't know whether it's the food companies or it's the pharma companies, but it's a conglomeration that needs to be educated, and I think we need to do the paradigm shift on the pharmaceutical and the food companies. They're not horrible people, but they're just ignorant, or if they are aware of that knowledge, they just don't know enough about it to do the research, which they should be, and changing the shift. Because healthy people, they can always find they can go into nutrigenomics, which is my specialty, and produce nutrigenomics and make money. But you know what? Making money is great, but not at the expense of people's health.
Absolutely.
Right.
Another scientist I'd like to mention is Dr. William Davis, who wrote the infamous wheat belly.
Yes.
And what he found was that there is a protein that's been added to wheat, I'm sure you know this, called gliadin. And that protein mimics the thyroid hormones in your thyroid.
So it can tell you, destroys, it goes and then starts destroying the thyroid, and that's what is the condition known as inflammation of the thyroid, thyroiditis.
And it also happens to be more addictive than heroin.
That's right.
So people get addicted to this, you become more hungry, you eat more.
And you actually gain more weight. And they started to put this protein, by the way, in rice now.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow, that's disturbing.
And that's maybe why we're starting to see the Asian population, it's all of that sticky rice. It's not the rice that it used to be. So now even rice is not what rice should be. So we are starting to put wheat in rice.
I did a nationwide tour of Japan in 2003, and I know that the word for food is the same as the word for rice, is gohan. And you look in Japan, there's like nobody overweight anywhere.
Yeah, but we're starting to see.
But if they start to put those proteins into that rice, look out.
And also we're starting to see thyroid disorders in the Japanese, which we never did because the kelp. Well, Bronstein did a study and he's found out that there's pesticides, and bromine is in the kelp now, and it has a higher affinity than the iodine, and so now the thyroids are picking up bromine. And the breast tissue is picking up bromine, and the ovarian tissue, which is very high in picking up iodine, which they should be, what it should be. So now we're getting iodine deficient, which is leading a lot into risk of breast cancer and thyroid disorders.
You know, one other thing I'd like to say to you too is, once you nail down the basics, like getting enough sleep, having enough water, taking your alphabet vitamins, now we get into phytonutrients and superfoods. Because superfoods are so important. When you stimulate your body with the extra things that it needs to supercharge nutrition, now your health is really going to take off big time. And there's lots of really cool supplements out there that people can find out about that are just amazing, because your body is starving for this stuff. Our soils are demineralized, all the minerals and vitamins are leached out. You got to put that back in addition to eating healthy. That's a very important component as well.
Absolutely. Listen, I could, you know what? I could talk to you for hours. This is phenomenal. I'm so glad you were able to give us the interview tonight. I know you've got a dinner waiting for you at the Oscar night and so forth, and for you to take the time out to really address this passion of both of ours. We really need to get the message out. Please look at, what's the website?
My website is divinecosmos.com. You can also read my books, The Source Field Investigations and The Synchronicity Key, which are both New York Times bestsellers. Go watch Ancient Aliens on History Channel. It's their most popular show. You'll see me, so I'm out there.
Absolutely, and we also thank Peter Nygaard for hosting this event, because he is on top of his game as far as anti-aging regenerative medicine goes. Let's get the credibility here now for that field. This is NainaMD, Beverly Hills Fusion of Science and Beauty. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.